Hi there, this is Eric with Island Expats and Expat News. I have some sad news that I want to read to you today that I just found out. And so I want to just kind of do a quick update and give you the details of what I've known so far. I'm going to read this. This is from Mark Thornton's brother, Eric Thornton, from Every Man Has a Story. It's with great sadness that Mark Thornton passed away today at 5:12 p.m. on Thursday, December 19th, 2024. I'm sorry for this announcement. I hope you will all pray for his family and his children. My brother was an amazing man and would give his last dollar to help you in need. He will be missed deeply by so many around the world. May he rest in peace. Every Man Has a Story YouTube has been an amazing journey for Mark and for Jen. Please continue to watch his videos. I love you, Mark, and we'll miss you. From Eric Thornton, his brother, and Betty Thornton, his mother. Yeah, Mark's mother. He's talked about her in a lot of the videos. She's still around. He says, I will allow my siblings to speak their own words and also for the people around the world. God bless. So really sad news, very classy announcement for, someone obviously that would be so impacted by the loss of his brother.
Video that Jen and I have been talking about making for a while, but this little guy hasn't been very cooperative. We're going to do this just for our family, like make it a private video for like my parents, my mother back home and my family back in America. But, all my subscribers said, we want to see the baby, and how's Jen doing and everything. So we're going to do these little family videos, like maybe one a month or something like that to give everybody an idea what's going on. Nothing too exciting.
I wanted just to throw out a few comments on my own. I met Mark last September, and we did an interview together. We had been communicating back and forth and happened to be in town in Dumaguete. I was there trying to figure out different places to possibly live at some point in the future, and then do some interviews with other personalities that are on YouTube for the Philippines. And I had reached out to Mark and I said, I've been following your channel for years and I really like your content. Is there a chance we could get together? And Mark said, sure. And so he brought Jen and they dropped off the baby at the, I think it's Jen's parents' house. And then they came over to the Henry, where I met him. The Henry's a really nice hotel. Got about 6 restaurants there. It's one of the quietest places in Dumaguete, which is a challenge. The one thing I was kind of really surprised, I've been to Dumaguete a couple times now, but man, the traffic has really gotten to be something. And it's a little harder to get around, but because of that, it's noisy. You got these motorcycles hooked to these metal frames of the trikes they have, and they make a lot of noise. Anyway, it's one of the quieter places to do that. It's right there on the boulevard across from the ocean. And it's in the kind of North Point area. So not far from the airport. Anyway, I met Mark there, and that's where we did the interview and got to know each other, and in person anyway. And we found out that we had both been in the cruise ship industry. And it was a while ago for me. Mark spent his entire career there. He was more on the theatrical side of things, like playing the roles in production and stage management, producing the shows and all those things. And it was an interesting conversation. I was on the supplier side. I worked for a company that was a custom broker on one side of the business and then kind of a marine importer on the other side. And so what they would do is they'd import different things from around the world for the cruise ships. And my job was to clear it through customs and then get it delivered to the cruise ship. So totally cool job. This is why, while I was in college many moons ago, and that's kind of what I did. So I had dealt directly with like Princess Cruises, and there's a whole bunch of names. There's been a lot of consolidation. Carnival was around then, but there were several new ones. The big new one at the time that everyone was talking about was called Crystal Cruise Lines. And that was, at the time at least, a Japanese company that was hiring away all of the executives from the US companies, UK companies, and Norwegian companies. That's kind of where most of the cruise lines come from. So like Norwegian Cruise Lines, Royal Caribbean, P&O Enterprises, which I think is the owner of Princess, at least it was at the time. So they were, a lot of them were either Norway, UK, or US. Anyway, Mark and I got caught up on all these things and comparing notes and about different ships and different things that had happened and really hit it off. We had planned to get together when I was coming back to town. My plans have changed, but originally I was hoping to come back in just a few weeks from now. And Mark had invited me to come over to the house, and he wanted to show me where he lived in Bakong, that if he opened his kitchen window, he could throw a rock and then hit the ocean. So I was really proud about that. He has spent years up in Valencia, and yeah, that's where he had been originally. Then the last year or two, he moved down to the Bakong area. So, I just want to give a couple of thoughts about Mark, and people will say different things. The first thing is that in any personality, especially somebody like Mark that's bigger than life, you're either going to like him or you're not going to like him. And that's how this YouTube thing works. This is our personal brand. Some of you probably don't like me that are watching this. I don't know why, but that's just how it works. So you kind of gravitate towards those that you like and trust. And there's kind of a saying in the business that your tribe will find your vibe, meaning that some people will enjoy your content and some people just, for whatever reason, will rub you the wrong way. And Mark was such a strong personality, that's kind of how I think it went for him. And it was interesting because I was bouncing some ideas off of him, and I actually told him I have a segment in my expat news that releases every Sunday to kind of give the updates of anything that was critical happening in the last week or so in the Philippines, and especially about vloggers and things like that. So I said I came up with this idea of every couple has a story, and the idea there, it's a segment within my expat news program, which I got the idea from Mark. All right, he has every man has a story, so mine's every couple has a story, and I thanked him for that, and he appreciated it. I was honest about it, and he had no problem with it. But basically, it tells the story how they met. And a few months ago, I actually put together a segment specifically on Mark and Jen and how they met. So at the end of this video, I'm going to go ahead and attach this so you get their story. It's kind of a fun interview because it was recorded probably 4 or 5 years ago. And it's one of the first times Jen was ever on camera. And it's totally cute. You'll see it when you watch it. But she's kind of checking her hair and primping and posing because she's never really been on camera before. And it's super cute. I'm sure she's much more polished now several years later. But when Mark did kind of a autobiography of sorts of how they met and had recorded some of that, and it was about 4 or 5 years ago, she was brand new. I think they were 3 months into the relationship. So it's kind of fun to see. You'll see it at the end if you want to take the time to watch it. But I found Mark to be a very genuine and authentic guy. And he had his opinions. And some people will like that and some people won't. But that's just how he was. And I appreciate it that he was very straightforward. I bounced some ideas off of him. And I told him, here, there's some things to do this or do that. And he would just tell me, yes, no, I don't think so. Oh, I don't like that. He's just very quick to his opinions. One of the things I remember the most from the interview, not so much the questions he asked me. I mean, he asked me questions like what I did occupationally and why I'm here and all that kind of stuff. But what cracked me up is he had this ancient iPhone. I think it was an iPhone. Maybe it was an Android. Anyway, it was a really old phone. I think the screen was cracked, and he wasn't really too worried about the sound and quality and everything. And he just set it up on a stand, and he did plug in, a couple of mics, one for me and one for him. Yeah, Mark was like, I'm going to use this till it breaks. I don't need the latest thing to record this. And, I noticed in the interview that we did that the camera kept zooming in and out, trying to focus. So it was an older, I'm pretty sure it was an iPhone. But anyway, it was quite a bit older with the cracked screen and everything. And several times it was trying to refocus where, our current iPhone wouldn't do that. So I got kind of a kick out of that. I mean, you have to kind of appreciate he's just going for the content. He's not really worried too much about the production value. I was shocked by that because he spent so many years more on the production side of things of these big shows on the cruise ships. So I just kind of expected he'd have the latest, cameras and mics. And so, several people do it different ways. I try to be a little bit more current. At least I know the sound quality is critical. If the content is good and the sound is bad, people will turn off your video. If your sound is really good and your content is good to just okay, they might hang in there for a while. But if they have any problem with the audio, they're out. So that's kind of a Steven Spielberg thing when he was, making all of the movies so famous from. He said more than half of your experience from a movie comes from the sound. Totally agree with that. All right. Anyway, at the end of this video, I'm going to go ahead and put together this segment that I had recorded a couple months ago about how Mark and Jen met. And it's quite cute. And that will be kind of a fitting testament to their relationship. And I'm sure Jen's in shock. And I can't imagine having, basically a 1-year-old and losing the father. So let's get back to Mark and Jen's story and how they first met, because every couple has a story.
But yeah, I'm in a relationship, and it's with my girlfriend, my fiance, actually, Jenlyn, right here. We met on Filipina Cupid, and I'd been on that site for about a month, and then I saw Jen. You hadn't met anybody, or you went to university, right?
Yeah.
And you didn't ever meet any guys there? Guys never asked you out on a date or anything?
No.
Really? Your whole life from high school all the way through university, nobody ever asked you out on a date?
No.
Wow. So I reached out to you, and if I remember right, I usually would ask a girl if she had Facebook, and I'd like to switch over from using Filipina Cupid to communicate to using Facebook Messenger, because then it proves that the girl's real. And also I wanted her to know that I was real, because I have a real Facebook account that I've had for a long time. And so I shared mine with you, and then you shared yours with me, right?
Yeah.
And did you check mine out right away, or what did you do?
I did check your profile. Before I confirm, I request, I checked their profile first. I don't like fake.
We meet at Tom Tom's, and bring your mother, and also you had 2 friends come too, right?
Yes.
I didn't know about the 2 friends coming. That was kind of a surprise. And we all sit down.
I didn't tell you about that?
I don't think so, no. I don't think so. Doesn't matter. Anyway, we all sit down, and your mother and you were across from me, and then your friends were on the side there. And nobody talked to me, really. Nobody really talked to me. I kept asking questions, trying to get conversations going. I remember at one point, I sent you a message while you were sitting across from me. I said, "Are you interested? Do you want to see me again?" And you messaged me back while your mother's sitting there. And what did you say? I said, "Are you even interested?" Didn't I?
Yeah.
You said, "Yeah, I'm interested." And you want to see me again? You said, "Yes." So anyway, that date, I didn't know. I don't know how you felt about it, but I wasn't sure, because I wasn't getting any response from anybody. Not just you, but anybody. And what was your feelings? How did you feel?
My thought about you?
Yeah.
I think you're a nice guy.
Okay. Good. Okay.
First time that I saw your face, yeah, you're nice, you're a gentleman.
Yeah.
I think, Mom, I said, I like him. First time that I saw you wearing a long sleeve with a collar, I said, oh my gosh, I feel that you're so hot.
Well, thanks.
So, it's hot, tall, 6'4", first plus for me, your height, and your skin color, your height, and the way you wear your clothes. It's really neat, and you're so cool.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And we got on the motorcycle. Your first time riding with me on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
And so we go to Castro Falls. And we hike, if anybody's ever been to Casa Aurora, there's stairs that goes down. They go over 300 steps down into a gorge. And we went down there. There was no talking the whole way down, if I remember. We finally get to the waterfall. I took some pictures of you. And you posed and smiled and stuff. I remember we'd be stepping over rocks and we're trying to like hold your hand to keep you from falling. And you didn't seem to want me even to touch your hand. At least that's how I felt.
Hey, we're not that close enough yet.
Yeah, so she would rather drown than have me take her hand. So we did Casa Aurora, and then we came back.
In your house.
That's right. I brought you over to my house for the first time, my apartment.
Yeah.
Which I was really surprised that she even came to my apartment. And what did we do that day? Do you remember?
Early dinner.
Early dinner, yeah.
Yeah, spaghetti.
Spaghetti, and then did we watch a movie or something?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
But we're not talking.
Yeah, we didn't talk the whole time. It was like Tampo. Guys, if you know what that is, it was like a Tampo date. I think things went better. I think we watched
And I'm still, I feel so happy that day because you're giving me a chance to prove myself to you.
Yeah. I was happy too. And it seemed like it slowly.
Yeah, because you're giving up.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I know. Then I asked you if you wanted to go swimming. She's never been in a pool in her life. And she said, well, I don't have a bathing suit. And so when I picked her up the next time for a date, another dance, she'd come over during the afternoons for a while. So I picked her up. Instead of heading to my house, I started heading downtown. She said, where are you going? Where are you going? And so we're going down to Robinson's to buy you a bathing suit. And then what did you think about that? You weren't serious, were you?
I said, oh no, I don't want to wear a bathing suit. I don't want to wear a top, a bra, and a panty with people's looking at me. No, feel so uncomfortable.
No, so we went to Robinson's and she wouldn't help me even find one. The sales lady wouldn't help us find one. And finally, I just walked over to the rack and I picked one up and go, how about this one? And I gave it to you. And you didn't want to try it on. And you finally agreed to go in the dressing room and try it on.
It's too showy. I don't like the top's too showy, your whole body. I didn't like it.
It's actually if you saw it, you would say this is a very conservative bathing suit, not a bikini in any way, shape, or form, very conservative. Think like 1930s style.
I'd rather wear a t-shirt to jump.
And she wanted long sleeves and, something down to her ankles. So anyway, she tried on, you said you'd liked it, right?
The what?
The bathing suit.
Yeah, I like it because it covers my tummy.
Yeah, it covers, all the important bits. So we come back to my place and I said, okay, let's go swimming. And she's basically freaking out. You didn't want to go swimming. You didn't want to put on the bathing suit. I had to really pressure her. I said, come on, it's just swimming. And so finally you put it on. She's in the bathroom, CR for 30 minutes. And then she finally comes out and you think she was naked. And you were embarrassed and everything. And finally I coaxed you out and we went to the pool. And then what?
There's a guys looking at us.
Yeah, there wasn't supposed to be any guys out there. And we get there and I didn't realize they were there. And there's 3 or 4 of the neighbors, guys I knew, all, of course, checking her out. Who's this girl Mark had? Because I hadn't brought anybody over there. And I'd been there for quite a while, so they were all real curious about who I was with. So we get in the pool, right?
Yeah, we did.
And you liked that, right?
Yeah.
And she enjoyed it. And so then we started seeing each other for every day for several weeks, right? For a few weeks.
Skipping one day, afternoon day.
Yeah, we skipped one day. And then I asked you if you'd spend the night once, right? Remember?
Yeah.
And I was really surprised she said she'd like to. And
no.
You did say that.
No.
What did you say?
The first that you said to me that you to sleep over here. I said no, not yet. Not yet. So when you ask me again, okay, try to ask my papa because papa is really strict. What there's a girl.
That must have been an interesting conversation.
It wasn't?
I said it must have been an interesting conversation.
He said,
So what did you say to
"Why
him? Tell me
are
what you said to him.
I said, Papa, can I sleep over to Mark's house? I said, what are you? I can't explain it.
Come on, tell it as best you can. Come on.
I said, what are you gonna do? What are you guys is going to do? Look at each other. Go, just sleep, watch a movie, sleep. That's it. Nothing else. Eat, foods
Hmm.
like that. So
Hmm.
he said, because I explained it to them because every time that I went to your house to visit you to eat a dinner with you, you're so nice. You're just sitting here, watching a movie. That's it. We're not doing anything bad at all.
No, you
I feel
weren't.
I
Yeah.
feel so comfortable that starts that day. Start
Hmm.
on that day.
Right.
Yeah. I said, Ma, it's so nice. We just watch a movie and then talk a little bit, and then he did nothing wrong, anything to me.
Hmm.
It's nice, gentleman.
Yeah, we did that for a while. She was staying over on a regular basis, a few weeks. I asked her if I said, why don't you just move in? And she did. And it's been, great ever since, right? And this is our second apartment. We were together at Dulce Vita for a couple months. And then what's good about where we are now is like, this is our apartment. But Dulce Vita was my place. And so she was there with her stuff fitting in around my stuff. But when we moved in here, it's like we moved in together. So she put everything away, including my things. So she put her stuff wherever she wanted to put them. And, we arranged the furniture the way we wanted it. And it's much better that it's our place and not, my place.
Yeah.
And we've been happy here, we're still, getting to know things about each other, still trying to understand cultures. What? You don't think we're still learning about each other?
I know you.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
already know you.
You already know me, yeah, that's true. So anyway, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching the channel, and thank you, Jen, for coming here for me and
My
let me interview
pleasure,
you.
sir.
And from now on, guys, I'm afraid she's the one and only pretty girl that I'm going to have.
So I think we're all just numb, It's sad news all the way around for everybody. And Mark was just a real, genuine guy, in my opinion. So I'm disappointed that I won't be able to see him again. I mean, we really were planning to get together and have dinner and get caught up. And yeah, just shows you life is very temporal sometimes. So not always easy. Anyway, that's the update for this. I just wanted to get this out there, and it's sad news. Okay? All right. Take care, everybody.